Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to be talking some charts, FOMC. What does it mean? Hit that like button. Hit that. Throw a 1 in chat if you are awake. I fell asleep while Jerome Powell was talking, but I woke back up, brought it back, watched it back 2x. I'm ready to get into it. About 2 minutes, everywhere. About a minute or so. Let's get this going. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. We got to turn the light on. Bam. BitLab Academy, here we are. The community is here. The Fed has spoken. It is a Fed pause. The rate hikes are being paused. What does this mean? Markets should be just going up from here. Well, we all knew. We talked about it this morning. There was a very high likelihood it was going to be a pause, about a 99% chance based on the probabilities and all the things they're calculating. And where the futures market, the CME group, was seeing the data suggesting where people were thinking the market was going to go, or the interest rates, I should say. And what did we see? We got that pause. And we could just go over it really quickly here. Where are we at? Oh, look at this. We're getting a little bit of a breakdown. So let me go ahead and adjust really quick. Get a little bit of a breakdown. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I said that we needed to watch out for hold on one second. I just have to adjust the title here. I said watch out for liquidity grabs in both directions, and that's what we're seeing. We saw a little bit of a push, now a little bit of a dump. Is a dump going to follow through? There we go. Sorry, I just had to adjust that because things changed so dramatically there in that very small amount of time. There we go. Sorry about that. One-man show here. Sometimes, I'm doing too many things at once. But here we go. We're seeing the price action break down from, this is on the 1-hour chart, losing this level. And this is unfortunate because this level was marking, basically, it was holding support of the start of a bullish consolidation towards this flat top we had here. And essentially, basically having a rising level of support would have indicated that there is going to be, if this were to continue on, maybe touch here one more time, a higher likelihood of breaking to the upside. And what did I say this morning stream, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time here on BitLab? I said that with these smaller markets that we're seeing them getting pushed around in ways that aren't really following the narrative, what patterns do. And patterns are only, remember, patterns, candle patterns. These, like we're seeing right here, this is a candle pattern, chart formation. We're seeing something that's indicating with traditional assets, as we've seen over time, and a lot of people will quote, this pattern breaks out 70% of the time to the upside or downside. Well, we'll see. This pattern, for instance, is one of those patterns. But we're seeing a lot of things get pushed around and broken in the direction that people are expecting. These markets are about max pain for the people that are truly moving into these markets. And we're all so excited about institutions coming in. Well, institutions also have much deeper pockets and much more of an ability to move the needle on these markets to push markets into, situations where short squeezes, long squeezes, fake outs, traps, all these things, however you want to characterize them, can happen because the market cap of these, the amount of liquidity that's in each one of these assets is minuscule comparatively with other equities. So let's go ahead and back out of this really quick. We're going to do a very brief synopsis of kind of what was going on. We got the Fed pause. It's not a pivot. Pause, meaning there's no rate hikes, but they did not say, when Jerome Powell was speaking, he did not say, this is it, we're pausing, we're going to, start reducing rates over the next 6 months and then, at some point, quantitative tightening. Everybody's thinking just because we're not rate hiking anymore, that everything's all well and good. That's not the case. What he's saying is the economy has been proven to be more resilient, stronger than we could have expected. And it's been performing relatively well in the face of all this quantitative tightening, money coming out of the markets, coming off the Fed balance sheet, as well as seeing these rate hikes, which is trying to be restrictive on terms of, the capital flow and lending and borrowing and the available capital for businesses and for people. So they can essentially squash or quash inflation. Well, economy has been performing relatively well. And Jerome Powell said at one point, very cut and dry. He said, listen, yeah, we're pausing now. It doesn't mean that we're just done. He said, we're pausing now. And, we may get another rate hike in one of the next 2 sessions. So we need to be aware of that. So right now, everybody in the chat, took me a second to run down here. We had a little meeting going on upstairs. Everybody in chat right now, throw in a lab coats and let me know, are you bullish or bearish? Are you just really just being a student of the charts this last couple weeks, letting things play out as they may? And then when something looks like a little bit better of a setup, waiting for that move, let me know in chat. Let's get some roll call going here. I want to see everybody that's here in the room. We got 52 people, 22 likes. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. And I want to just talk about really quick. Again, we're going to just characterize a little bit more of what Jerome Powell was saying and then dive into the charts. And we're going to be doing a bunch of TA for the rest of this stream. So shout out to Crimson Caravan, Marco Valez, Kyle Owen, Teo Rodriguez, Alexander G, Randall Dance, Sawtooth Hiker. Shout out to everybody. Decrypto, DA, I was about to just combine 2 different names. DA Don't Miss says bear at the moment. And that's okay. You know what? I am a long-term bull with short-term bearish ideologies. Because of everything going on, it would have been nice to get the pump right now. But I was telling you all earlier today, and then also, over the last month and since the beginning of August, really. So, almost 2 months now, that I was looking at prices on Bitcoin, tapping at some point down into this zone. This zone is down here in the, basically lower 24s, mid 23s. Everybody sees a pump like this, and they think, oh, this must be up, and away from here now because we got a little bit of a pump. But then remember, what do we always look for? Lower highs, higher highs, lower lows, lower high, all the higher lows. In this case, we still have a lower high. So we did break out of this zone, but we still haven't. So let's go ahead and back that up really quick. I just want to point this out. Powell just said that the last 3 months of inflation data have been good, despite 2 months of an uptick in year-over-year headline CPI. I completely agree. Though FinTwit, financial Twitter, all of us, nothing special about it. It just depends on who you're following. FinTwit doomers insist that inflation is re-accelerating. Fun fact, inflation isn't accelerating. So just, there's a lot of different things out there. Make sure you're following BitLab Academy here at Academy BitLab. Hit that retweet, hit that like button, and just help support. We're going through some things right now. And I'm telling you right now, this channel, we are independent of any drama. This channel is only about community. This channel is only about education and development and understanding skills and learning new skills and sharing with each other, both wins and losses, so that we can grow together. I love all of you guys, and I really appreciate you. I love that no matter what's going on in the world, everybody can come here and get balanced view, share with each other, and just positivity. This is what I'm all about, positivity, man. So what did I want to share with you? U.S. Fed says it's confident the U.S. can avoid a recession. Well, this is all well and good, but I think that's also partially because they changed the definition of a recession, but we don't need to get into all that. What they're really saying is here is, what people are wondering is, are we going to have another leg down on markets? Are we going to have some sort of, realization and capitulation moment where markets really start taking a drastic fall? We've seen a lot of tech stocks and a lot of other, Kelly, we're only concerned about Bitcoin. But remember, we got to look at these tech stocks. We got to look at Amazon. We got to look at Google. We got to be aware of what's going on in the traditional finance space so that we can have an edge in this space, because it's one of those things that helps us understand where the risk narrative is and the capital flow. So we just need to be patient here. U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. Well, this is good to know, but they also said that before we had 4 banks collapse back in March. So we want to be aware of this stuff, and then we want to set it aside after we're aware of it and come over here and say, okay, thank you, everybody, giving me talking points, even me giving you all talking points. And then come here onto a chart and say, what does the chart tell me? So let's do some TA. If you guys are down for TA today, we're doing TA the rest of the stream. So shout out to everybody here. This is the best community. Kelly says, Dimple Paul, I appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. BTC is breaking down. Well, that's what Marco Velez says. But let's go ahead and look. I mean, looking here on the 4-hour chart, is it really breaking down yet? I mean, if we look at it right here, 15-minute chart. Oh my! It's like, feels like the end of the world. But remember, zoom out. So let's start on the daily. We're gonna do daily, 4-hour, 1 hour. We'll try to do 15 or 20 charts. We're gonna be doing some turbo TA. So everybody, if you are here and you are interested in crypto content and you are interested in what's going on in this market, hit the like button, please. It's the easiest way that you can help support this channel. And I'm an island out here just trying to bring you guys good content. I appreciate you. Thank you, Scotty B. Appreciate you very much. BTC is getting cheaper to buy. That's right, Herlogi. Is that how you say that name? Oh, all right. So let's zoom out and then zoom in. We're going to end. Let's start with Bitcoin and we'll end with Bitcoin as well. Daily chart. We talked about that this morning. Look at this. We have a clear zone right here. Clear zone between these order blocks, 2 different order blocks kind of overlapping with this zone here and this zone here. Order blocks being these red blocks, of course, part of the BitLab volume, which is part of the indicator package that we have here with BitLab Academy that really consolidates all the information, really all the information you need to really understand how to navigate these markets. And we got these 2 order blocks right here. You see these red blocks, and then we have this order block down below. It's this green block. We're kind of in this zone right now. And if we zoom out, we see, realistically, it's almost like we've been kind of like trading in this zone that, when you zoom out, you start seeing other sort of chart formations. And, in reality, all price action has been doing since right here, March 2023. In reality, minus all this noise, we've really just been trading sideways. Now we can zoom out further and see, oh, but we have this rounding top. And well, we got to look at the chart formations of any asset, looking at that in the context, for instance, Bitcoin. We're looking at it in the context of what's happening with the dollar, also what's happening with traditional markets, and also what's happening on the, a weekly time frame, monthly, weekly time frame, and then looking down at the daily and below. So we understand the macro and broader environment, the macro environment, and then the midterm and short-term environment. Okay. We need to understand the context of the scenarios we're in. In this case, as we can see, all the way since back here, March 2023, we've really just been trading sideways in this range. Now we get these violent pumps up and then slow bleeds down. Violent pump up, slow bleed down that starts accelerating. We're just holding this zone here. I want to know, everybody in chat right now, do you believe, do you think, Ant-Man77 says, love this channel. I love you and I appreciate you. Do you think that we will get a wick at least, maybe not candle closures on like a weekly time frame, but do you think we will wick down below this zone here, which is 24,690? Do you think we will break that level? And if you do you think we are going to see further down, or do you think it's going to be a liquidity trap, bear trap, only to move back up? Let me know in chat what you believe and comment down below if you're watching later. If you are watching, by the way, if you are watching over on Hit Network or anywhere else, make sure you head over to BitLab Academy right here, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Join us here. Got a good community. Now, sideways trading, great. So we're looking here on the daily. Now we do see, we do see on the, we do see that the stochastics are starting to roll over here. And I'm going to leave those lines there because we're going to see them when we zoom in here in a bit. Momentum's come up. We're getting a little bit of a mixed signal here, which makes sense because everybody's trying to figure out what everybody's processing the tonality from Jerome Powell's speech because they made the rate pause. Great. Everybody's more interested. Remember, markets are forward looking. What did he say and what's likely to happen and how are other people going to perceive this? That's essentially what trading is. You're trying to figure out what you can perceive other people might be doing. Thank you, Marco Velez. I appreciate you. Says Kelly, your TA is on point. Hey, I just, I'm in the charts all the time, always trying to learn, always willing to say if I'm wrong. My whole goal here is just to take the data points, figure out what's going on, and provide an honest take. I'm an idiot, but I think we're going to hit 24K. A lot of other people are saying lower. Brocoshi Nero Dinero says, well, 24K is, right here at the top of this range, So I think that would be excellent if we did. But again, we could very well just chop in the zone sideways, even push up, come back down, and then, if we zoom out, I want y'all to remember this. We're on Bitstamp. I want y'all to remember this before we get over into the alts. If you weren't here, if you don't know, now you know. Look at this. Look at this sideways range right here. The sideways range was 281 bars. Really, it took all the way to here before we broke out. 290, almost a year of just sideways ranges where this first pump, 111%, drop, 29%. And then from here, 41% up, and then down 36%, and then up 150%, and then immediately down 40%, and then immediately this eats people alive. This absolutely eats people alive when they're not prepared. Up 54%. So that was 150% pump, followed by, what was that, 40% dump, and then a 55% pump. We're not out of the woods for having something like this. Even once this, let's say this is similar to like when the FTX collapse happened and then we had the whatever, and then we had the push up. But then look at this, even this range here, all the way across here, we have this bit of a, it's kind of like that same pattern I feel like we just kind of broke the narrative on. But this took 209 bars. So coming back to where we're at now, if we do it from all the way over here in March, like we just talked about, to where we're at now, that's only 189 bars. And this is a whole different pattern and shape and structure on the chart. So what I'm looking for here, let's look at the top of this. The top of this is called time analysis. That's 64 bars from the top here to the bottom there. So 60 bars. So let's do the top here. This is 62 bars to the bottom. Are very similar. Are we in process of having another, event like this with a strong bullish impulse? Well, on the daily chart, it looks like we have a pretty defined range based on order blocks and liquidity of previous order clusters within the chart, as well as the low here and the breakdown point here. So this is fairly well defined. If we break above 27.8, then we can talk about visiting up here at 29. If we break 29, then we can talk about the most important level, which is up here at the top of this range right here, 31. I'm looking, when I'm moving my mouse and I'm calling out numbers, you can see what the price is. If you look at the bar on the right, it tells you where your mouse is. So that's about 31.7, 31.8. So I'm calling it like 32 is what I'm looking for. So if this does push up, I'm not ultimately super bullish until we start really breaking out of this structure and moving to the upside. In this case, we have another line that I'm just seeing right just like this. See this point right here to this point right here, this wick. See that? Boom, boom. And we still have, look, this crosses directly through where the order blocks are directly above us. So if price action does start pushing up, I'm looking at this area, 27.6. 27.6, and interestingly, if we pushed up into this, that would be a new lower low from this point here. Now, this is going to be the contested area if we can get into this zone. So zooming out on this, what does it look like? Let's get down into, I wanted to bring the indicators up. Let's turn back on the BitLab Intelligence. We are above the weekly VWAP. Look at this. We're riding on it. If we want to continue a bullish narrative, we'd like to keep the price action above the weekly VWAP, much like we see here. Once we broke through it, came down, tested it, moved up. Once we lost it, it was just the chop city bleeding all the way down. So we're above it. We're testing it. Okay, that's our sort of barometric pressure, if you will, our temperature of what's happening here. If we lose this level, and the stochastics are aimed down, and the RSI is aimed down, and we're still seeing negative money flow, this is still almost exciting, but it's not quite yet there. So, 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, look at that. Two triangles here on the BitLab trend fuel, suggesting the momentum's trying to roll over. Let's go ahead and delete this. This is from this morning's analysis. Okay, we got some positive money flow, but we're seeing now the momentum collapsing back down. We can see, it's hard for you to see on y'all's screen, I'm sure, but the RSI is angled down, stochastics angled down. I would like the stochastics to start finding a bottom somewhere and rounding out if I'm expecting the price to move up. Right now, it's angled. It's not. It's angled. It's a direct trajectory down, and the momentum's coming down. And look at this. This is order flow right here. We're having basically a negative delta on the order flow, meaning the order books that we're seeing. Are you seeing buy or sell orders? Look at this. Sell, 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 sell. That can change very quickly, but point being is not looking very strong at the moment. Now, what I'd be watching for right here, and look at this. This is exactly where it's bounced. Option J, the high right here. The high right here. This is exactly where we pull back to. So this is what I was talking about this morning when I was talking about liquidity grabs in both directions. So although we want this to break up because this is an ascending triangle, we want this to break up to the upside, but market makers and smart money, big money know that. And so they say, well, let's go ahead, start moving it up, and then let's bring it down, flush those people out, grab the liquidity. Where do we put our buy orders? Right at where the previous highs were. And this is exactly what's happening. Currently, the question is going to be, we're going to want to see, by the end of the day, when we get the daily close, does price action close below this level or above it? That's going to be very telling. So let's get down here on the 2-hour. Look at that 2-hour. Look at all this, a huge jump in selling volume there. Now, a 1-hour chart. 1-hour chart. Oh, God dang it. 1-hour chart, we see price action consolidating into this region, comes down, comes up, basically once it loses this trend signal line right here, loses it, comes up, finds resistance on it, comes down, finds resistance, finds resistance, finds resistance, and finally, boom, it gets pushed down, and we come down, and we're testing down to not only this level, but also these previous highs that we mentioned before. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. If we can hold above 26,852, then this may very well just be a liquidity grab. We're going to want to watch, though. Be very careful. Just because this looks like this and it starts bouncing up, it doesn't mean just go long, high leverage, because this very well, as we know, with these actions, when price action breaks a level, it very often will come back and test that level and then do a breakdown. So what we want to do right now is patience game. Everything seems so high strung about what direction it's going to go. In reality, the narrative is very equal. The narrative feels very undefined in terms of who really has control. If we look at it on this time frame, on the 1-hour time frame, we're in a 1-hour time frame, sort of bullish trend. However, we have topped out in this trend, as we can see by 1, 2. You can kind of call it a triple top. It's more like just a loss of momentum to the upside. Because you could call this an information, but you don't have the leg down yet. Either way, what we're seeing is a lack of follow through from the bulls. Lack of follow through. We have order block directly above us, price breaking down. So we want to watch this previous level high right here. We also want to watch, especially on the daily, as we were talking about. We want to make sure that price action doesn't, it's almost relatively about the same spot we were talking about before. We want to make sure price action, if we're hoping for a further upside, that this kind of holds its support on this weekly VWAP. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. We'll come back to that at the end. Let's go through. We didn't do ETH this morning. Let's do some ETH. Shout out to Ray Meeks in the house. How you doing, my friend? Tommy Luck, how you doing? Sawtooth Hiker. Crimson's girlfriend, what's up? Moonshine. Moonshine, this is a BitLab Academy, so that's what we talk about here. All right, brother? All right, so Ethereum. We got it. Breaking out above the trend signal line. We're on the daily. Came down, found support. Tried to break up again. Could not break past this previous high. Yes, we got a little bit of a wick, but on a candle closing basis, where basically it's like a little, doesn't look strong for bulls. We are above the trend signal line, but look at this. On the daily, we fell right back below this weekly VWAP. So let's zoom in a little bit, get some better resolution. 4-hour time frame. Shout out to 99 people in the room. Everybody hit that like button. Yeah, we can do some quant for sure. Alrighty. What were we looking at? Okay, 4-hour time frame. We did push up, found, look at this, came back, tested the weekly VWAP right here. Perfect. Breaks up. It's finding support above this dynamic, what do you call it? Dynamic support zone. So we got dynamic support zone. Now it comes through, falls through, finds support where? Weekly VWAP, pushes up, and it's just chopping in the zone. It cannot break through this level. And interestingly, you can see my cursor going across the screen. If I do option H, horizontal line, where is this high? This high is this previous high. It's this high, this high, this high, this high. And we can also see this low and this low. So you wonder, why are we stopping here? Because the chart told you this was an area of historical interest and price action, especially recent history. So we want to pay attention to what's happening in price memory, because when price action is coming up, if you have strength, you could break through that. If you get up there, that's an excellent spot for the bulls to get out, thus giving the bears more power. In this case, that's exactly what happened. In fact, we came down, high volume selling, and then we get stopping volume and a buy signal, or a bullish setup signal. It's right here, and then immediately get the triangle down here on the BitLab Trend Fuel. This was a wonderful setup here to take this. If you were looking to either exit a short or get in a position, that's an 8% move. Okay, we come up here into the order block, and we actually formed a new order block within this order block. Come back into it, get rejected. Come back down. Where are we? 4-hour, below the weekly VWAP, below the trend signal line, below the 20 moving, below everything we need. In fact, this is moving up. And what do we see with the momentum waves down here on the trend fuel? It's angled to the downside. You see that? Angled to the downside. Well, this is angled to the upside. That is a bearish divergence, AKA you got a car on a hill. You want it to go up, but you look at your gas gauge and you say, I want to go up, but my car just let me know that I'm out of gas. Looking at your trend momentum and your RSIs and your stochastic, understanding what's happening with price action in relationship to those signals about the asset gives you an idea of the strength to continue forward or not. Okay. Yeah. All right. So with this, I mean, Ethereum has been, I want Ethereum to do so well, and it's just, it's struggling. It's our baby girl's struggling. So the next level I'd be looking at, so we got this right here, option J. Then I'd be looking right here as well, a little bit lower. And then got some charts I'm going to be showing you guys tomorrow as well from our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, get in our Discord. One of the mods will post a link. Kelly, check out the RUNE 2-minute chart for your scalp lovers. Easy money. All right, let's look at RUNE. We will definitely look at that. But before we get there, that's from Ray Meeks. He's our OG in-house. He's one of the main people here in BitLab. He's awesome. I mean, like, he does a lot of the back-end development and Discord and all this stuff. He's he's smart as he could be. So I'd be looking, if this were continue breaking down this level down here, if we cannot hold at this level, which is essentially these highs, coming down to test 1583. If we lose that, likely coming down to the 1530s. If we lose that, then down into the 1400s, and then of course down 1300s. This is not looking relatively strong as it is. The only thing I will say about this is the fact that we do have this dip comes up. If we're able to hold above this, then maybe this was a liquidity grab and this is a final liquidity grab. But as it stands right now, we have the bearish divergences on the momentum. We have the stochastics angle down. They look almost fully reset though. We see right here, see this orange line and the purple line, the stochastics and RSI comes down right into the zone where this bounces. So this is telling you the car's almost full of gas. Boom, we get the move. Now, let's look at RUNE. You said, excuse me, where did that go? Well, I can tell you, Rob, you got no idea. The truth will set everybody free, I'm sure. I'm agnostic to all of it, just so everybody knows. But reserve your judgments of people on either side until there's documented evidence in court. I can tell you right now, there's a lot of disinformation out there. So here we go. RUNE, you said 2-minute chart. Man, that's a scalp. Man, you are a scalp degen, Ray. But let's look at it. Man, look at this. Man, with the BitLab trading stack, beautiful. We got the bullish setup followed. If you didn't take this along with the triangle, I mean, this was a setup, support with the triangle, confirmation, bullish, we got here 6 bullish divergences. If I keep leave my mouse over, I don't know why my computer's so slow when I'm on stream, but we moved up from there, up another 1 or 2%. And remember, if you're scalping, you're in and out of trades. Similarly right here, move down, gets a little bit further down, push up, short. And remember, what do we do in downtrends? In downtrends, we look for shorts, and uptrends, we look for longs. Now, doesn't mean you don't ever sell or short in an uptrend, but you want to make sure, especially early on in your trading experience level, you have to know where you're at. If you're early on in your trading career, early on in your trading experience, you don't need to take a buy, a sell, a buy, a sell. Look for what your strategy is on the time horizon. Say you in the next 3 weeks, you're just trading a downtrend. Well, what you're doing is you're trying to identify areas to short, and then these buy signals are bullish signals, and coupled with the trend fuel here on the bottom, as well as the divergences and the other stuff that's part of these indicators. Then if you take a short here, maybe you layer out a little bit here because you got this signal. And then what happens is on this, where'd that go? On this signal right here, maybe you got out a little bit, but as this comes up, then you get, you cannot break this high. Then you get a lower high at the break of this zone right here. And if you want to be conservative, it could just be this zone right here, this low right here. At the break of this, you layer more into your short position. And then where do you get out? Well, you can layer some out here. I mean, that's already a 3% move. Yeah, it's a 3% move with the wick. And remember, when you're scalping, you're not chasing 60, 80, 100% gains. You'll get them sometimes, especially if you're an absolute degen and you're doing leverage trading. But again, we got to nail the ability to just stack up 3%, 5%, 2%, 7% gains on spot trading before you ever even consider going to leverage. Don't jump in that game too early. Don't try to run before you can walk. So we got, look at this. This is an excellent setup. Boom. We had this bearish setup here. We had the momentum rolling over. Stochastics were going down into this. So now, do you take the short right when you see this? Well, we had high volume candles into this zone and then stopping volume. So on this next high that did not break this, I would essentially be setting my entry on this on a short, because this is a setup. We see the stochastics is supporting. So we have supporting because stochastics are angled down, RSI is angled down. The momentum wave angles over. Now, on the price action breaking down and taking out this low is a wonderful opportunity to then enter the short or be more conservative, let this come down, see what happens at the trend signal line. It bounces, great. So then on the break of the trend signal line, then you can take that opportunity for the price to come down. Now again, this is the Ultra DGM play. This is a 2-minute chart. And you know, one of the great ways you can learn and understand charts and formations quickly and how indicators, whether it's our indicators, whether it's just traditional RSI, you know, money flow, MACD, whatever you're using, price action, throw it on a 2-minute chart or a 3-minute chart and get in a spot exchange and trade, you know, $15 or $10 and just go through the motions of understanding how all this is working. So now, as you see, this breaks down, high volume to the downside, selling pressure, stopping volume, except do the bulls have a chance? Well, each time they come up, look, this already signal is going to be kind of weak. Comes up, gets rejected at the 20 moving average and the EMA ribbons here. Breaks through, gets rejected here at the trend signal line. Comes down, it's kind of trapped in the zone. If I had to guess here, it's likely going to have a leg down somewhere into this zone, because although we had 5 bullish divergences, that only resulted in, I mean, that's such a tiny move. So the bulls have no juice. If we take out this trend signal line right here, then the next level up, I'd be looking at, you see this yellow line across right here? This is basically marking based on levels that have to do with high volume candle areas and zones that they hit, and where there might be liquidity sort of, not I don't want to say grab, it's likely areas for reversal if price comes back into that zone. So this would be, you know, it's also right near the bottom of this range, and that is right there at $1.78. That's for RUNE. Let's get back into larger time frames, because we're going to look at daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, and okay, what are we talking about? Okay, that's yeah. So here's, I mean, look at this. I was only looking at the 2-minute chart. The 2-minute chart told me it was likely to go down. Now I'm looking at the daily. Yeah, this is very likely to go down. So we had a push up, M formation, and if maybe a small rally up into the low side of this range, $1.84, and then likely essentially doing the stair step, boom, 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 somewhere in this region here. That's what I'm seeing currently on RUNE as most likely. However, we do have, I won't call it an inverted head and shoulders, but we do have, I mean, it kind of is. So let's see. I mean, that would be a 419 target, maybe a little below that. We can go a little more conservative. Yeah. Basically $4 target if this were to play out. This is on the daily chart. So remember, this would take time. This would be working its way up there. So that's if that were to break this neckline on this kind of lopsided inverted head and shoulders. So potential reversal signal, potential bullish reversal signal while we're coming up into the zone, creating a smaller time frame, shorter time frame, smaller time frame, midterm reversal, potentially coming back down to test a little bit of the resolve here. So let's see what plays out in the next day or so. Watch for a break line of this level, and look, you have all these order blocks directly above us. So if we do push up, I would expect to push back down, finding support before anything. So don't jump in just because it broke. Wait for the confirmation. So what are we looking at? Somebody said quant. I forget who it was. Yeah, Ray Meeks. We talk about that in the BitLab Academy. You can also set up paper trading account on TradingView, and you basically do demo money. So you can go through the process of trading, but you're trading with zero money, and you can just go through the process. At some point, I would recommend after you do that, 100, 200 times trades, then even if it's $10, put $10 on the line, because there's something that's different. Different happens psychologically once you're actually putting money on the line. So paper trade as much as possible. Go through the process, go through the motions, and then get involved in a way that's meaningful to you. Okay, there's way too many lines here. What is going on with all these lines? Don't need any of them. All right, so we have a falling wedge, massive falling wedge on quant. This is on the daily. We broke out above it. You see, this is why you don't buy just because it broke out, because had you waited for a confirmation, this broke out, came back, it didn't bounce. So you would have saved yourself that heartache. And then again, break out, comes down, comes back. It does test. But remember, that's the aggressive mode if you were to buy here, because you didn't break past this previous high, right? That would be, that would be a push up like this, breaking past this previous high. That's what you're looking for, especially when you're, you know, on the less experienced side of trading. Now we're pushing down into this order block right here that we can see characterized by this giant green bar that's coming across. Again, part of the BitLab trading stack, the BitLab volume. So we not only do we have this, it's also confluent with this descending level of support trend line that's coming down here. We've had a lot of wicks come down and touch this. We had a lot of interaction here, and we had the highs here as well. So there's a lot of confluence right here in this region. And we also see, look at this bullish divergence sort of outlined here on pretty wide time frame of what's going on with the momentum waves and the price action being much lower. In this case, this is looking a little. This is looking scary to me because it looks like it has a bit of a bullish structure, but everything seems like it's riding on pins and needles here. It's riding on pins and needles, and even though there might be some bullishness, I still see a strong likelihood that I've been calling for it since the beginning of August for quant to test down somewhere into the 80s. You know, whether it's a liquidity thing or whatever. We can see this right here, option J. We have all this sort of price action over here, which is perfectly in line with the middle of this order block. So maybe that's a good target, 82 for quant, because we do have a very strong bullish structure. But remember, institutions are on the rise and smart money's coming in. People are getting more aware. Professional traders are starting to make their way. More and more professional traders are making the way into crypto. And they say, oh, we can push this around. Because somebody that is a small fish in traditional markets that's been trading for a long time can come into crypto and be a whale with a limited amount of capital comparatively to something if they were trading in traditional TradFi with, you know, trillion-dollar assets. So we got to pay attention to this. So I could see the likelihood of this coming down, tapping this area only to resolve to go to the upside. So let's pay attention to that on quant. If this does come down, don't be sad. Say, damn it, I got a good opportunity down here. So even if I'm out way up here in the 130s, 150s, doesn't matter. You have a better opportunity down here. So don't just be mad you didn't get it. You got it so much higher. Say, oh, well, I can get it again here at a lower price. Lower your average entry. Let's look at AVAX. Somebody said that in the chat. Let's go to a cleaner chart. I'm going to go to, where are we at? So do that every single time I want to move the chart. All right. Stair stepping. Boom. A little bit of a boop, boop, boop. Stair step. It's trying to hold this level down to above 885. We lose 885. I know I talked about it this morning, but I did not zoom out. I want to see if there's anything that we should be looking at. Okay, this 7. Yeah. So that's where I'll be looking. So, man, so let's go ahead and do a fib, option F from the bottom to the top. We can see the 1.618 is a logical sort of next step down with an extension down, because on the left side, historically, it showed that the price action didn't really have a lot of interaction. It just kind of sliced through that level. But if we were to take a little bit of a pit stop, 836, and then ultimately down 745, this would be a great target for AVAX to actually fully find a bottom, or even just bounce V-shaped recovery and go back to the upside. As it stands right now, we see price action falling, and look at this. The momentum's waves are basically getting smaller. I don't want this to roll back out. Let's get down to the 4 hour. 4 hour stochastics angled directly down, RSI angled down, the momentum expanding to the downside. This is not looking like it's trying to make any sort of move. It's following it's following Bitcoin right now, the insecurity of the market. But watch this be a liquidity grab for reversal. This is why you got to be careful. Let's look at ICP. ICP, yeah, you know me. Oh, I hit my hand too hard on the desk. All right. So we're on the 4 hour. We're just going to keep it on the 4 hour just because I want to get through a couple more coins before we go. Got 94 people in the room. Everybody, appreciate you being here. I just want to say that. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, this is looking a little suspect to me because we have downside price action into a little leg. Is this going to be another leg to the downside? It's currently still in the structure that can do that because this is not like once this starts getting much longer, it becomes a little bit more bullish. But as it stands right now, this is looking like where was I? This is looking a little bit like a rising channel and potentially like a bear flag kind of setup. If that were the case, this, God damn it, you come on. This would be a target all the way down to 255 if this were to be the case. Now notice we have the we've got the order blocks directly below us, and look at this. Look at where this wick came down here, tapped right at this order block, came back up inside this groove. So if we can maintain in here, great. But what we really want to see is price action come up here and break above the $3.05 sort of level, and watch out for this line as it's projected forward. This is going to be somewhat subjective because of, you know, this deviation here, but we do have a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. It's looking very parallel channel-y. If this can hold this level, then we could maybe looking up. It's looking rather relatively weak though, as the momentum's coming down, stochastic's angle down, RSI's angle down. What does it look like on the 1 hour? 1 hour. Still looking, we can see here on the dashboard here on the right side, BitLab Trim Fuel. We got you know, leaning much more bearish, but on the 1 hour, we did come down and bounce right off this order block down here in the point of control. This line coming out is the highest volume node of the visible range that we're seeing, meaning the most volume traded at this specific price. That's what point of control means on the VPVR or the BitLab volume or any of those types. So now if we're holding this, currently we are under the weekly VWAP. I'd like to see us actually come back above this and then test the side of the range. As it stands right now, this is looking like it's wanting to test down here again, which would be down 295, which is not that far down, but we really want to make sure that we maintain above like 294, 295. Otherwise, I do think we may be in for another leg down, which we just marked out that target. Let's look at BNB. We haven't looked at BNB. How many people out there hold BNB? It's one of those coins. It's supposed to be, you know, and I don't know. I know out of 1,000 people, I know the whole crypto. And I'm not hating on BNB. I'm just saying the community is not very vocal at all. Let me know if you hold BNB. We could do HBAR, B Simmons. You're very welcome, Randall Dance. Let's see, Binance Coin daily. So got a bit of a trend line there. Is this kind of a falling wedge? Yes, it is. It's almost like more like a descending triangle. Let's turn off the indicators just because it's been a little messy on the chart there. So yeah, I mean, this is consolidating into the zone. We're getting a strong uptick in the momentum wave here, showing it's kind of some underlying building strength. Now, in addition to all of this, we are holding at this zone. I'd like to see us test back up into this zone right here, which is basically about 240, but I don't see that happening with the current state of the market. In reality, what I really just want is I'd really like to see Bitcoin. I'll move this down. I think it's 181. Yeah. I'd like to see BNB hold above 181 because otherwise, what do we have? We have this small little node right here, 131. And then the next one down is, you know, all the way down here at 46 bucks. So there's a huge fall to happen if BNB falls. And I wouldn't want that because that would also likely put a lot of pressure on Binance and a lot of different institutional players that are in the crypto space, much like we saw when Luna collapsed. Then we saw Three Arrows Capital. Then we saw Celsius, whatever the order was. But my point is all these end up tending to lean on each other. When you start seeing a major player and a major coin, you know, something in the top 10 like BNB having major issues and collapsing, it tends to have, it's like throwing a small rock in the pond. It has some ripples. You throw a boulder in a pond. It has, little tsunamis. It can, turn over, a little boat that's there. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for BNB. Link, what we seeing on Link? Let's go ahead and delete this fib. All right. So we got this this channel. This is what I was referencing in this morning's stream. I mean, this has been all the way. This has been 28 days. Okay. Sideways range trading. I think when Link starts going, I think it's going to go. Meaning, I think it's going to be a good performer when it does perform. We do have this descending level here, and this is not really giving me much signal. We do see, I will say, looking right here on the trend fuel, we got green bars showing a lot of underlying buying volume, aka buying pressure. We got stochastics angled up. We got the RSI kind of coming into a level that it has reversed. So while we do have a lot of underlying buying, money flow is still negative, and the stochastics look like they're getting in the overheated zone. If I put this right here, you see the percentage on the right when I put my mouse. It's getting in that overheated zone, and the RSI is trying to curl. So let's go ahead and just keep an eye on this. But this is something. This is giving you excellent opportunities to stack over the last 2 years. Don't be frustrated. If you believe in the project and you like the fundamentals and you're doing your diligence, then appreciate this opportunity. Because if the fundamentals are there and the ecosystem is growing and the team is executing and the developers are executing on building out new things for the ecosystem, and they're taking on new partners and they're having no issues, then at some point, something's bound to break. And if this case, it's the bears that have been in control, then hopefully that bearish speaker is going to break. Man, I am tired. I don't know if you guys can tell. Waking up at 3 a.m. for a flight. I fell asleep while Jerome Powell was talking earlier, and I had to go back and watch it about 15 minutes of it 2x because man, he put me to sleep. Now let's look at a couple more. Dot, how you doing? How's Dot doing? So look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Price action came right up into that golden pocket right here, rejected down. Let's go ahead and delete that Fibonacci. Okay. Let's look at this. Okay. This is looking almost like, I won't call this an inverted head and shoulders on the momentum, but it's kind of structurally the same thing. Momentum down, deeper momentum, smaller momentum. So there's something's trying to change, but watch out. What did we talk about earlier? Breaking a level, coming back for confirmation and then continuation. So what do I mean this? We see this right here. Price action comes down, finds support, and then loses it, come back up. Is this going to be a confirmation of breakdown and continuation like this? Or is this just a hesitation stutter step before we come up and actually have the confirmation that way? Well, looking at the data on this, the momentum wave is trying to angle up. The stochastics are angled up, but RSI is getting weak. RSI is coming into a zone. See that? Boom, 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 boom. So if RSI, in this case, I'd be watching for RSI to tick up and break this level. I think that would let off some pressure on DOT and let it take a little bit more of a swing to the upside. I said I'd look at HBAR. I'll look at HBAR and then we'll do Bitcoin again, and then we are out of here. All right. This is HBAR. I was like, I thought I pulled up Bitcoin and it said 0.05. I was like, what? HBAR. Yeah. I mean, it's compressing into this range. We had the wick almost up to the zone, brought back down. We are holding this level. And although we have all this bearishness, we do have this momentum wave that has swung all the way back up. This is the daily, but the stochastics are starting to roll over. So if this is the case, and this is all the bulls could do on this move to the upside, we got basically rejected at the trend signal line, the 50 EMA, which is also right here. Look at this. Essentially right here where all of these lows are. If we look over here on the right, see all these various wicks and lows and stuff. From the wicks, that's where this is getting rejected. From the candle bodies, that's where this got rejected, which is perfectly confluent to what? Trend signal line right here. Red and in charge. And so currently we are kind of pinched between the weekly VWAP and the trend signal line. So if this can hold here and then break through, great. But this is looking like, let's go down to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, yeah, it was trying, but it's just, look at that suppression. Consolidating into a range. So whichever direction this breaks, I'd be looking for this to, if this breaks out, I'd be watching 5294. And if we could take that out, then I think HBAR could make a little bit more of a move. It's this high and this low. So I'll be watching that 52.88 sort of zone, 52, yeah, basically 53. You want to call it just a little bit conservative. Yeah. If we break down, then I'm looking holding 4922, and if not, you know, coming down to this broader, longer, more midterm support level that's here. If we lose that and we come down into the 4560, I'd really want it to hold 4560 as somebody with a long bias. But if I'm honest, I want to stack up some HBAR. So in reality, I'd like it to lose 4.5 cents and test down into 4.1. And I mean, this would be a dream. 36, 3.6 cents. Woo. But as it stands right now, everything's trying to shake off the news for the from the press conference from Jerome Powell. So we're going to need to see how some of these things shake out overnight. See who, you know, I think there's going to be a little bit of a jockey of power. Everybody's trying to figure out what the tone was, you know, where the market's going to go. Let's see how this shakes out overnight. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you're ever looking at the charts or you're watching this channel or watching any channel, you don't understand how somebody's looking at candles and trying to come up with any sort of analysis, head over to bitlabacademy.com. Join us here. We got a wonderful community. We got all kind of different courses. This is what I actually wanted to bring up here. Courses, boom. We have so many different courses for on-chain data analysis, Bitcoin 101, blockchain 101, crypto beginners, psychology of trading, trading fundamentals, candles, candle patterns, indicators, trading strategies. We got a lot more coming. And if, in addition to all this, remember, we have the premium Discord. We got the indicators. And so get involved. You can still use Give Me 30 for 30% off your first month. So big love to everybody. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. Make sure, please hit that like button. Every one of you that are in the BitLab community, let's all not be of the troll mindset. Let's be encouraging, fact-based, not speculation on any channel. I'm talking like you go to Crypto Faith, you go anywhere you go. Let's be people that bring the good to the spaces we go. With that, I love you all. I appreciate you. That's all I got. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Be our friend. Adios.